As Yogi Berra famously said, it's tough to make predictions, especially about the future. And that resonates as I reflect on this year's, and last year's for that matter, JPMorgan Healthcare Conference. If you've been following along, I wrote a paper last year, after last year's JPM, titled Where Healthcare is Going in 2025 and Beyond, a strategic outlook on value-based care. I'll drop a link in the comments if you'd like to read it. I think the paper still stands as we enter 2026, but this year I'm taking a different approach. It seems many others have already published their thoughts and feedback from the conference on where healthcare will be going in 26 and beyond. I had a chance to digest many of those thoughts and papers over the weekend and agree with many of the observations. However, I'm not sure anyone has said what needs to be said about the road ahead, so I'm going to share my thoughts. You see, every January coming out of JPM, energy is high and healthcare sounds optimistic. AI everywhere, capital is coming back, innovation is accelerating. And while some of that is true, the real story is this. Healthcare is not entering a rebound cycle, it's entering a sorting cycle. For those unfamiliar, during a sorting cycle, capital assets are sorted into new combinations, often moving to new, more efficient owners, and the focus is on productivity gains, efficiency, and specifically deleveraging. In other words, sorting cycles don't reward vision, they reward execution. So here are a few of my high-level thoughts. The macro reality. 3 forces now define healthcare. First, structural cost inflation that isn't reverting. Think labor, complexity, compliance. Second, revenue pressures are real. Payer mix deterioration, Medicare Advantage recalibration, and Medicaid risk in 2026. Third, capital is available, but no longer patient. The comforting narratives will say AI will save us, or outpatient growth fixes margins. Neither is really true without discipline. Strategy without capital fails. Capital without execution destroys value. So let's talk capital and strategy. Capital is re-entering healthcare, but from where I sit, it's underwriting operators, not stories. Money is flowing to platforms with reputable economics, to operational technology, not speculative tech, to tuck-ins rather than empire building. And I think that creates the most important question leaders face right now. So be honest with yourself. Are you a builder, a partner, or a seller? Because trying to be all 3 is how organizations stall. I probably couldn't get by without talking AI. So what's the AI reality? Well, AI is real, it's valuable, and it's being oversold on speed and scope. Where it works today is clear though. Ambient documentation, revenue cycle automation, scheduling, and staffing optimization. These tools protect margin and reduce burnout. But where AI fails, in my opinion, is governance. Most AI projects don't fail because the tech is bad. Some do. But by and large, they fail because no one owns the workflow. So AI failures in healthcare may not be technology failures. More likely, they'll be execution failures. And I think that's the distinct difference in where we are with AI and ultimately where I think we're trying to go. But what about operations and care delivery? We heard some pretty interesting things and folks looking for partners in innovation and moving of services. Outpatient, ASC, virtual, and home-based care are, again, in my opinion, directionally right. But execution is everything. Moving profitable volume out of hospitals without resizing hospitals or strategy is going to be a problem. I think the takeaway here is you need to shrink what no longer works. You need to rationalize fixed cost, align physician economics, then scale ambulatory and virtual assets. Outpatient's not a growth strategy, it's a cost structure strategy, and we need to look at it that way. The rest of this decade won't be won by bold vision, it'll be won by leaders who execute under pressure, allocate capital honestly, and finish what they start. This is not a transformation decade. It's an execution decade that will hopefully create a transformation catalyst for the next decade. And at least in 2026, healthcare will reward those who understand the difference. So if you have thoughts or want to share notes, please reach out. I'd welcome the conversation. If you or your organization have questions around trends in healthcare, how to formulate your strategy for 26 and beyond, or just to discuss how to improve coordination and execution along the continuum, please reach out to us here at Pinnacle Healthcare Consulting, and we'd be honored to help.